I'm coming here with a breaking news today, and it is not a very good breaking news, it is a bad news. And this is the information or update about the immigration suspension, which was supposed to expire by midnight of December 31st, the year 2020. Unfortunately, that has been extended. We had two of the immigration suspension before. The first one was happening on the April 22nd, and on April 22nd, Trump's administration, with advice from the Department of Homeland Security and Department of Labor, due to the pandemic and effect on the job market, went ahead and stopped or suspended many restrictions on immigrant visas. Those people are coming direct to the United States and get permanent resident were affected with that, and that affected a lot of people, especially those under the application who were the winners of the DV 2020. We all know what happened. And on June, so the first suspension was for 60 days. Then it went ahead on June 24th, Trump administration extended because the severity of pandemic was high, job unemployment completely went so high. Then for that particular situation, they went ahead and extended the restrictions until the end of the year. But on that particular extension, they added certain types of visas, and those visas were non-immigrant visas, but for people who are coming to work in the United States. This excluded visas like student visas or tourist visa. They were focusing also like H1 visa, L visa, some of the J1 visas, the visas you come here to do work on temporary basis. They were also included into the extended ban or extended restrictions. So that was supposed to expire by the end of December, to be exactly was midnight of December 31st. So few hours before the expiration, Trump administration had to make one of the two choices, either to let it expire and the suspension goes away, or to go and give another extension. We all made some videos, majority of people made some videos to predict what will happen. Myself, I made a video and predicted, and I showed how unemployment rate is going down, how the labor market is doing well. So for that particular situation, obviously I didn't see any reason why we are supposed to extend that one. But up to now, what I'm talking to you, the unemployment rate is now 6.7%, and the Trump administration went ahead and extended the suspension until the end of March. To be exactly, is March 31st, 2021. And this is the reason what they put forward is similar reason which happened the beginning of the pandemic. But despite the fact that the suspension on the beginning, on April and June, the job labor market was, the unemployment was so high. Millions and billions of Americans were very, very unemployed. Up to now, there are certain situations where majority people are coming back to work. So this is from CNN. I'm going to read from CNN first, and then I will get some points from the Hill. So I'm giving some of the points from CNN, and where they say President Donald Trump extended the certain restriction on legal immigration and on visas that allow immigrants to temporarily work in the United States on Thursday, just hours before those restrictions were set to lapse. Trump extended the restriction through March 31st, 2 months after he will leave the office. As you know that the new administration is supposed to start on January 20. So, what is the reason? The reasoning on April and June was to protect the job market for Americans. And on today's proclamation, it reads as follows. The current number of daily cases worldwide reported by the World Health Organization, for example, is higher than the comparable number present during June. And so remember, while they are they say the number of cases which were reported now is higher than the one in June, which they did extension up to 6 months. And it continues. And while therapeutics and vaccine are recently available for an increasing number of Americans, their effect on labor market and community health has not yet been fully realized. So still, the impact on economy, the impact on labor market in general and community health hasn't been fully realized. And in order to understand that, this week, they have passed the over 900 billion stimulus and 600 to each, and President Trump has requested or has argued to Congress to go ahead and increase the amount to 2,000. So that's one to explain the impact of the COVID. And most importantly, you have to know that now we call what we call the dark winter. In winter time here in the United States or most Western world is the time where we are going to face the flu season, where all the professionals, the medical professionals, Dr. Fushi and the rest of the professionals, they are predicted the worst situation is coming because of the pandemic is going to be so high. So I think this is the reason why they are going to give more money at the moment, and they know what is going to happen. So despite I've been said that the unemployment rate at the moment is 6.7%. It's a little bit low, but the reason behind it is that one. So let's go to dig some of these questions. Let me start with the DV lottery winners for DV 2021. DV lottery winners, DV 2021 winners, because of the restrictions, which were supposed to end in December. Usually the interviews is supposed to start on October 1st on the new fiscal year. No one has ever been interviewed for the DV 2021 winners. So we were waiting to get the first second notification letter to get the interview appointment. So we are predicting something will happen maybe in February, because if KCC hasn't sent these letters at the moment, or these scheduled interviews, maybe they'll send in January. If they send in January, you have 6 weeks to prepare to go to the interview. So we are expecting to be in the middle of April. So for this situation, KCC might not continue to send the notification for the interviews unless otherwise there are other processes to happen. So up to this time, what is happening now is exactly what happened for the DV 2020 winners. So these are the few things you need to understand what is going to happen. Number one, we have to hope for the two things. Number one, the new administration. Will the new administration go ahead and change this particular situation? There are two sides on that. There is one side they say they will be able to do that. There is another side they say no. Despite the challenges, you cannot go ahead and do that because it will be in the middle of January, February, to be in the middle of the new, what we call the dark winter. So there are so many cases, so possibly there will be so much pressure of not allowing that one. But we do not know. But President-elect Biden has already mentioned that he's going to do a lot of executive orders. But these executive orders, you have to know that he hasn't said anything with regard to this situation. So people do not know whether he will go ahead and do this one or not. So we are waiting and to see what will happen on that particular situation. But the second hope, the American Immigration Lawyers Association, ILA, is going ahead to make the lawsuit, which will be similar to the one which was done by Judge Mehta back in 2020. And because the decision was already made and they won, usually in the court of law, once there is a decision which has been made, becomes the precedence for the next lawsuit, or for any next decision, they will refer to the previous situation. So, and the case is very, very clear. What you got, this immigration suspension or the restriction doesn't restrict or doesn't force the consular offices or the consulars not to give the visas. You give the visa. The proclamation restrict those individuals to come to enter into America, not to be given the visa. So give someone the visa, and then the matter of traveling to come to America or not, that will be a separate process, and they will come across it to meet with the Department of Homeland Security that you are not allowed to enter because you are in the situation where you are not allowed to enter at the moment. But that doesn't affect people to be given the visa. So if they use the same arguments, which they will use the same argument, they will win in that situation. And again, there's still so many lawsuits regarding to the H1 and other related visas. I'm not expert in those particular areas, but what I want to explain is it will be still a long process. And it's not going to end very, very soon. But on the other side, those who are coming as students, those who are coming as for tourism, they will still be able to process to come to America. Because, for instance, if you come as international student, it's different from coming as H1 visa. If you come as H1 visa, working visa, you are coming to work on full-time basis, maybe for 2 years. But if you come as an international student, you come to study, but you might work on part-time, just like 20 hours per week maximum, and instead of 40 hours per week. So you see there is a big difference between international students and H1, or someone comes as J1. So those are the few things I want to put you forward to understand. But if you are planning, that's what I've been saying, like if you are doing the New Year's resolution, doing anything, and if anything you are going to is your New Year's plan or resolution, objectives you want to do, and those things depend on the Western lifestyle, the Western economy. You have to be very careful how you put your goals, because there are so many restrictions, guidelines to be followed in these countries can affect most of your goals. I remember there are some people who were, it was very devastating that you were winner of the DV 2020 and you were not able to come. The coronavirus is continuing to be here, so don't get too much excited that, oh, 2021 corona is gone. No, the virus is continuing to be there, and in Western countries it is still affecting people. These restrictions continue to be there. So let's hope that the legal processes and other things will go ahead and clear people to be able to follow all the processes, and whether they'll be able to get the visa or not, that will be to be determined at that particular time. So at the moment, I wish you all the best, and stay tight and stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and other channels for people who are sharing this information about updates, which will be very, very good for you to be updated, so that if something comes up, we'll let you know, and to make sure that you are going to succeed your journey, to succeed into what maybe you are planning to come to work, or you are supposed to get the visa, certain type of visa, and it is on the restrictions. So those are the few things I want to share with you, and I'm sorry for this bad news, but I want to make sure that you understand what is going on at the moment. Goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye.